It has been a while since I saw a Netflix show that blew my mind. I mean, don't get me wrong, they release some shows that are very enjoyable and I love watching, but they don't always blow me away. But this show, Blue Eye Samurai, this show blew me away. It was an enjoyable experience from start to finish. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. In this video, I want to talk about Blue Eye Samurai. This show is set in the 1600s and it follows the story of a Japanese samurai that is seeking revenge on some white men that she believes ruined their life. This story is basically a revenge flick and honestly one of the best revenge flicks I've seen in recent times. First of all, the storytelling. The storytelling was fantastic. The way the story is told in like a non-linear way. Like you're jumping from the past to the present, from present to the past, and it's something that keeps you glued to your seat because when you are in the middle of something that is about to happen now, the filmmakers will take you back to a time that is giving more context on what's about to happen. Like it just jumps from past to present and it was done so well. And it just helps the pacing of the film. The filmmakers are always one step ahead of you with the way they are telling the story, and you're just always glued on your seat. The pacing was done right, and the way the story was told was very intriguing and suspenseful way because you are always on the edge of your seat. Sometimes when the tension is like at its highest and it's about to kill you, the filmmakers just take you back in time and just keep the suspense in you. Let it still be boiling before they unleash it or let the story continue playing along. It's something that I really liked and just helped the storytelling so well. And the characters in this show are very interesting characters. They are complex characters and they are well developed characters. Like all the characters, they have something with them that are just so unique that makes the story a much fuller story. Is it the story of a blind man that is a sword maker, or the story of the handicapped man that wants to become a samurai, or the story of a bully that wants to become great and at the end of the day just realize he just wants to live a normal life? All those characters are very interesting characters, and the way their story is told just adds so much depth and intrigue to the story. And the main character was like an anti-hero type character, and so something I really liked. And because this person is on a quest for vengeance, they do some things that are very cold. Like you expect her to do some things because she's like the main character of this show and she's like the hero basically, but she's not the hero, she's an anti-hero. But she's the main character in the story and she does some things that you're not expecting. I was just like, wow, I didn't expect her to do like this. I expected her to do something like this. And it just makes her character much more layered and much more complex character. The character feels like a real person. Like there's sometimes when you expect her to save somebody. This is going into spoilers, but pardon me. There's sometimes when you expect her to save somebody and she doesn't save them. She's just like, that's none of my business. And like it just makes the character much more human, even though she's on a quest for vengeance and she appears to be a good person to the viewers. She does not do some things that you expect her to do, and it just makes the story much more layered and the character a very interesting character. And the fact that this character is always fighting because she fights so many people and she's like a very good fighter, but she's not invincible. She fights sometimes and she loses. I think that's another thing that makes her a much more layered character. Like some people might lose and they'll decide not to fight anymore. But when a character can lose and still keep on fighting, that is what makes the character a very special character. There are some times when she takes incredible beating. She gets stabbed, she gets beaten, she gets brutalized. Like sometimes she even faces death. She's close to death, but she still fights. She still does not stop and she still keeps going. And it just makes her a very interesting character to watch. And there are some plot twists in this story that I really liked. It just took me off guard, like, whoa, what the hell just happened? Like I was not expecting it. It added so much depth to the story and it did not feel out of place. Like when you think back about those plot twists, like it actually makes sense to you. It makes sense that something like this could happen, and it just adds so much layer and so much depth to the story. Those plot twists work to the story, and the action sequences in this show were brutal. They were very exciting. They were very gory, and so much violence and so much blood, and just whew, it was incredible, man. Those action sequences were so good. And there's another thing I like with what they did with the action sequences. Sometimes they don't show you everything. They just imply some things. You hear the sound of the sword and you see the blood splash and you see some appendages dropping. Like it adds to the brutality of the fight sequences because you don't actually see what this person does, but you can imply what the person did from the aftermath of it. And so something I really like. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time like that. Most of the time, they actually show the violence. They show how she's cutting and brutalizing and dealing with people. But sometimes they still just show the blood splashing, you hear the sound of the weapon, and the appendage is flying about. And I love that thing. It was a very stylish way of shooting those fight sequences and it added so much to the story. Speaking of things that added to the story, the animation style of this show was gorgeous. It was so pleasant to the eyes. Like it added so much to the story because of the way it was. It was just so stylish and so intriguing and so exciting to see. And it just adds so much to the story and to the overall context of the series. The animation style was brilliant. And another thing I really liked was the sound design. The sound design was immaculate. It was so clean, it was so precise. Like Every sound, everything you saw on the screen that made sound, it felt so good, and they paid so much attention to it. Like a sound that they might not necessarily add to the animation, they added it and just made it so realistic. Like there was a part in the beginning where a chopstick rolled off the top of a bowl and landed on the table, and you just heard that sound, bang bang, and that sound just added to the overall story. Like they are not letting anything go. It made the story much more realistic. I mean, it's an animation, but still, the fact that you can hear all these sounds, like that's just one instance. There are so many instances like that that you hear some things that you're not even supposed to hear that you think that they will not pay attention to, but they paid attention to it, and it made the story feel much more realistic and much more exciting. Man, the sound design was so incredible, and it added to the overall brilliance of this show. The sound design and the animation style, those things complemented themselves so well and made the show work. Along with the storytelling and every other thing, the performances from the actors as well, the voice performances, oof, all those things worked brilliantly for this story and made the story a very, very interesting and exciting story. And when the story ended, it just ends like on a cliffhanger, like there's more to come. And honestly, I am so excited to see more of this show. This show was brilliant from start to finish. So have you guys seen Blue Eye Samurai? What do you think about it? Comment below and let me know. Is this your first time on my channel? My G, subscribe to my channel for more contents like this. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Cheers.